Morning, everyone. This is Trend Followers this side, and it's time to plan our week. We are talking about December 8th week. So let's plan the week. Let's see some of the setups which are interesting for this week. Today, I'm gonna go through many names, but some are high quality names, and some I'm sharing so that you should be aware of those. It may happen this week, next week. That's something I cannot predict, but something to be aware about. But before we go into names, the first and foremost thing is we have to understand what are the news this week, right? That's the most important thing. So let's look at the news this week. And what we have this week is, let me see, look at this. So this week, starting this week, we have the most important news is, I think, Australian dollar. So what it is the RBA statement is coming out, so that can bring in a lot of volatility. Then I think again USD CPI month over month, so that is also important. But then after Australian dollar, then there's Canadian rate statement also coming up. So that's gonna be interesting. So Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, right? And then CHF, Swiss franc, is also coming with their policy rate and monetary policy assessment and all that. So that would be also interesting. And then eventually Euro, where again rate statement, right? So a lot of heavy heavy news this week. What I can say is like, let's focus on few names and just, yeah, like let's be ready, right? So let's revise Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, and CHF and Euro, right? So those would be the most interesting ones and important ones this week. So that would be my primary focus. So after news, I want to share something which is, I think I shared in one of the last videos also. I think it's very important to know what are the weak currencies and strong currencies that happened last week, right? So this is something I have here. This is like the weekly strength that I have built a tool around this. But what I wanted to show here, let me just open those. So this would be the right one. So let me close these. So let's focus on the weekly strength index that happened last week, right? So JPY has been acting strong. We know about that. So we should really think about that, that JPY is acting strong. Then Australian dollar has been acting weak. So Australian dollar and NSD would be something we'll try to short. Of course, the technical setup, with technical setup and all that. And JPY would be something we'll be focusing on going long. This is weekly, so that would be our first priority. On daily, we got a signal last week, which I wanted to share. And that is, let me bring it up. Yeah, this day, this particular signal was on GBP pairs. It showed extreme strength, and Australian dollar showed weakness, right? So these are the things that matter. So again, let's revise. JPY has been acting strong. Australian dollar has been acting weak. GBP has been acting strong. JPY would be the best bet because of the weekly strength. Australian dollar and NZD would be best bet because of weekly weakness. And then GBP can act strong, can start acting really strong on all pairs, right? So that's something to remember. Again, let's think about the news. Australian dollar, CHF, Swiss franc, basically, Canadian dollar, and euro would be the main news. So keeping this in mind, I am just sharing a lot of Australian dollars pairs and giving them the first priority because of what I just shared, right? So let's go through those. So within that, my primary focus has been and will be JPY pairs, Australian dollar JPY pairs. So we did discuss this I thought maybe we'll bounce back, but now because we made a lower low, there's something interesting here. This is for scalping. So if you see this, there's this supply here. So let's talk about the trend, clear down move. Uh, it can target something here or here. Let's talk about strength. Australian has been weak, JPY has been strong. Okay, that's check. Now let's talk about a good supplier. So there's this and there's this area and this area. If you want to swing for a long time, you can like have this whole as your stop loss area. I think you will get 1.5 or 2. But my primary reason about this supply of 12 hours is look at this. Firstly, it's a good supply. Then let's go to weekly, and you will see previous week low is right here, right? So immediately this supply is in a weak currency, in a currency which has news confluence with weekly area. That makes it a great area. So this here is something I would keep my eye on. I would expect something like this. That's what my plan is for this area. So that would be odd GPY. Let's talk about GBP odd. So the reason I bring GBP odd, uh, GBP Australian dollar is, as we saw, GBP has been strong and Australian dollar has been weak, right? So by any chance they try to manipulate and go here, right? This can be, it may just honestly bounce from here. But if it starts bouncing in this region, I will not just blindly trade it. I will look for some price action here. For me, the best region is here, and this is the zone I would focus on because I like to just take quality and get 2 hour and get out. Now again, Australian dollar news trend clearly up, and then there's a daily supply. Now also, I forgot there's a 12-hour supply also, but demand. But let's look at weekly. Look at this weekly high, which matches exactly, right? So there's the demand right before below the weekly level. It's not previous week low, but let's think about it from the other side, right? We have this huge up move. Most probably the target is here. Can the whole red candle go down? Most probably not. So any down move, probability wise, can be manipulation. And that's what my focus would be right here. If they go down here, for me, that's manipulation, right? So GBP odd would be that. Now let's talk about odd CHF. Again, why are we focusing on odd CHF? Right? Odd has been weak. CHF had such a great move last week. We also told you in the video that CHF, it's looking bullish for CHF, right? Uh, there is one other reason, which is seasonality wise, CHF stood out strong. So that is also other criteria that I am thinking about. So that's it. That's mainly it. Now, with respect to CHF, what I see is this is a nice continuation candle. And if we come back here, this can be a nice down move. The other thing that matters on CHF, if I wanted to show the 12-hour supply, because I think that's beautiful supply. Look at this. Great supply. Now, what would you like to see here, right? There are two scenarios. One like this. If it comes back, comes like this, right? Then maybe let's say it does just that. So keep in mind that this should be your 2 hour hour, right? But let's say what I would like to see a lot is right here, there's some rejection, then it comes here and then goes down. So that would be great. So if there is any kind of consolidation in this region, that means here when it comes up, that can be considered as manipulation. So that is odd CHF, that is a pair I would be watching again. Let's talk about AUDCAD. I couldn't find much here. In terms of like great supply or something, but there was something I noticed and I thought I should share with you guys, and that is for scalpers, right? So this FVG, if there are scalpers and ICD traders, this FVG is really important if you think about it, because there's FVG and there's that weekly level. So any price action here, I'll just keep an eye and see how it reacts at these levels. But if you ask me, there's a zone I like here, but I am not in love with that zone, and I will tell you why. Because it's not like this candle made a higher high before coming down, and there's a lot of consolidation here. So I don't love it, to be quite honest. But if there's price action which speaks bearishness here, then maybe we can go down. We can continue going down. So that's something I will just keep an eye. Not my preferred name right now. Let's talk about AUDNZD. What is interesting about AUDNZD is this, right? Which is we have a doji last week, right? So let's just say hypothetically that it bounces, right? So there's this consolidation and it bounces. So what you have here is a daily block, right? But let's go to weekly now. So I made, let me just move my keyboard a little. Yeah. So I made a weekly level from here and here, right? Look how this weekly level doesn't matter so much, but just above this weekly level, we had a great rejection, right? So here. So I think this zone can be great for odd NZD. So what I would like to see is here. Look at this consolidation here. Maybe we come here and consolidate again, go up. So this is great, right? So this would be something I would be watching on. This is what I'm thinking. But again, I'm not saying it will continue going down. I'm not there to predict that. There are my thoughts around it, but I would not be focusing on that. I would be mainly focusing on if it comes here, can I get my 2 RR till here or till here? Ideally here. But that's what my primary focus would be. So that's odd density. Again, let's look at NZDJPY. Same reason that we have spoken many times. NZD has been weak, AUD has been weak, Australian dollar has been weak, JPY has been strong. Is there something that you can find a good zone and all? The reason I brought this up is because sometimes if, let's say, AUD JPY comes here, or yeah, and NZDJPY also comes in a supply, that becomes like a high probability move, right? So for me, what was interesting was for all JPY, let me go to daily, is this area, this area right here. I don't think it can go there easily. So what I think is a possibility that there's a supply here, right? And it can consolidate here, then come up, go up a little more and then come down, because this area can also act like resistance. So that's what I think. Like if odd is in that supply, or JPY is in that supply that we talked about, and NZD is in this supply or this supply, that would be perfect combination. Ideally I would like to see this, because then you have SMT also. So that's NZD JPY would be my focus in terms of seeing if there is some SMT. But my primary focus would still be AUDJPY. So let's talk about NZDCHF. Why I brought this is again because CHF has been acting strong and an odd NZD weak. What is interesting about it, I love this zone here. I love this zone, and I will show you why. Uh, I think NZD is stronger than odd, so I would like to see if there's a bounce, can it come till here? Again, I am not saying it will come. I'm saying if it comes, I would like to short it. So why I like it is look at this 4 hour supply. Look at that rejection, right? So if it can really come here, that would can be a great rejection. Uh, and such a big move up can be good for it too. So ideally, I would like some choppiness and all that. But this is the region. I'm not sure if it will be tested this week, but I'm not here to predict. I'm here to be ready for whatever happens. And this is the zone I'm really interested in. So that would be NZDCHF. Uh, Euro NZD, I don't think there was much. I just wanted to show you that this is like after consolidation, we broke out. So that like don't think about shorting it too much. I think it definitely wants to come in this area. So like any down move is most probably uh, a manipulation instead of, or I should say pullback instead of just reversal. So be aware of that. That was something I wanted to share. Euro JPY, I really, really like this area. So this area would be my focus on this. And I just wanted to share this zone. We shared it last week also. Um, yeah, GBP. Yeah, so this one, GBP has been acting strong. There's no doubt about it. But the reason I like this is because of the confluence. So we have been saying GBP CHF should start acting weak. In the previous videos, this was the zone we were interested in. And we have this down move. So this down move is from a legit zone, which is important. Now, this can be a good supply. We have a daily right below it. We have consolidation right below it. Now, apart from all this, the other thing is if you look at the weekly, previous week, last to last week high was just around here, just around here. So there's this, which can start acting important, which can act important, right? So my point being, this can be a good region to short. Again, this is like a scalper's bet. So my focus would be this area and this area. So how it reacts. So I would focus on this area here. Anything above uh, would be great. So if it touches this and there's a good reaction, I would be focused on that. I do think what can happen is we get a scalpers thing. Maybe it comes back down here, right? You see, this is such a good down move, or maybe just bounces like this, then comes back down here, right? And then goes up. I'm again, no prediction, but I think if in this region, when it comes, you can get your 2 RR, that can be good for you. So that would be GBPCHF. USDCHF, the reason I'm sharing this is you never know what kind of bounces we see, especially with such news, right? So I'm very interested in this supply here, which is level on level. So keep in mind if you enter here somewhere, you should put your stop loss above this anywhere you want. You want to tight it, play risky, that's your call. But this zone here was something that I was I don't see how it can come here, but that's me predicting, right? So I didn't want to do that. Instead, I wanted to tell you guys that if it comes here, you should keep an eye out for that. That would be USDCHF. And lastly, silver. I the reason I'm bringing silver up is you see all this consolidation. We have good equal highs here, and maybe we bounce, right? And if we bounce, this is the zone that I would really, really recommend and I care about. So I just wanted to bring this zone in front of you so that you can apply your own technical analysis, but this is the zone I really would care about. So yeah, that's mostly it for today. These are not important, but focus on odd strength, focus like even if after Australian dollar news or Australian dollar pops up a lot, the probability for it to be manipulation is very high. The vice versa is also true for JPY. But like Australian dollar really started acting weak, and there are fundamental reasons also. But we are here just for technical analysis. If you guys want some fundamental analysis, we can go that into that in future videos. But right now, I'm not going into that. What I'm thinking is more on technical front right now. So keep in mind whenever you are, for example, shorting GBP, uh, be careful around that. I don't want you guys to step into something which is really strong, and GBP has just started acting strong. And sometimes these signals can be bottoms, tops, depending on the chart. So I would just say stay careful with that. So I would say if we can get anything on AUDJPY, AUDCHF, NZDJPY, NZDCHF, GBPAUD, Australian dollar, those are good bets. So keep an if you can find some technical setups there, good. That's great. So this is what my weekly plan is. This is my weekly thought process. I hope you learned something. I hope it made sense. I hope this connects with you. If not, feel free to comment, give me feedback, and I will take it up and update my videos accordingly, make my videos accordingly. But I'm here to stay. I'm here to help. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good trading week.